I today tear down of 5 aircraft control boxes I have laying around, as they are quite simple each one. It is not worth making a separate video for each one, so we will do 5 in a single video. We have a radio cockpit select controller here, mysterious unknown thing here, navigation channel selector, altitude limit fit selector, and this must be an antenna, radar antenna controller, I believe. So let's start. So I will start with the smaller ones. This one, the radio cockpit select. We have in fact one backlight here, push button here, and 2 green lights made by Grimes Manufacturing Company. So let me find a screwdriver for this, because I will probably remove the front panel on this one. So here are the details for you. Part number 7375, where is a NATO stock number it seems, serial number 660, manufactured by Univox Corporation in New York, Los Angeles, New York or Los Angeles obviously, US, and there is a date code here of January 15, 1959, so quite an old one. You can see we have already Phillips screws, very nice Emerton black paint on the cover, and 2 quarter turn fasteners here for the cover. So here is what we have inside. In fact, it is quite simple, just 2 holders for the lights on the front, the push button with the wiring, and the backlight here. Everything directly wired to the back connector. Quite simple. I will try to remove for you one of these bulbs, but in fact I do not remember exactly. I believe I must undo the front plate. So here we have a regular backlight thing with red filter and regular bulb. And if I undo these 2 screws, maybe I will have better access to the green light things. So this one is in quite a good condition. Yes, here is the back face of the front plate. 1958 date code here even, with model number. And we have these 2 lights called light cap assembly. I believe it should come if you pull them, because you must be able to replace them in the field, but looks like they do not cooperate, so I will not, as I do not want to break anything. Or maybe, yes, this one is easier to remove. So we have very long tubes in here containing the bulbs, and they are all at the back in here. Quite a weird setup. So to replace the bulb, you have to remove this little cylinder thing, and then you access your regular bulb, model 327 by General Electrics. Very common bulb for aircraft lights. And so it is just a green light. In fact, there is nothing written in this, I believe. Just you should just light in a green. And here are the contacts going to the back of the bulbs. They are spring loaded, as you can see on here. Quite interesting stuff. and Phillips screws everywhere. Okay, it is all for this one. So the second small box is what is it called? Made in France by Thomson CSF STAE, market number in 1973 here, serial number 15, and one other information here. This must be the model number, so I have no clue of what this panel is for. You can see we have on off, we have a test box button, we have a brightness, we have up and down, we have land and take off, and we have adjustments here and here. Maybe it is for headlights in the aircraft. It is a guess what it could be. So again the same kind of fasteners here, like this, quarter turn. And the contents is quite simple, just the buttons and the potentiometer. Very nice potentiometer here, as you can see. Very nice wiring work with a lot of zip ties. And here a few free resistors, it seems, on standoffs. Connector is screwed to the back plate, bolted even. And you can see this kind of connector, you cannot, you need special crimp tools to assemble them and disassemble them. Oppositely to this one, where you can solder the wire directly on it. Same construction, exactly, you can see, it is interesting. Front metal plate. Here, there's fasteners for the attaching to the cockpit frame. Standoffs and back plate for the connector. But here there is no backlight in the front panel. It is seems to be an aluminium piece. And little numbers on each wire to follow them more easily. If I remember correctly, there is something I did replace in this one, but apparently it did the work quite well, and I do not see anymore where it is. I believe it is this button. It was broken and I did replace it, if I remember correctly. Yes, this one seems in a little bit different and a little bit worn out at the back, so it must be this one I did replace. Apart from this, it is all for this one, so I will reassemble this one, I will go to the next ones. So next one, this one, altitude limit fit selector, from 50 to 300 fits altitude limit, not sure what it is useful for, some alarm probably, two backlights for the front plate, with regular bulb inside, as you can see, always the same kind of bulb. So this thing, it is quite interesting because it seems a copy of a US design. These lights here are made by Grimes, so it is a US brand, but oh yes, in fact it is there is a US stamp in here, so it is a US made, but we have something interesting inside. So C734-APN1, serial number 3154 with a US Navy emblem here. So big round connector at the back. The cover is just folded aluminium and repeated. But if we open it, we see the construction first. So we just have a wafer switch with resistors, so you dial in and out resistors to change overall value, probably. Very nice wire loom here with some thing wrapped around the wires. And here, look at this, we have DCAN Algérie Oran sticker from 1961. So it is from the French Algeria before or during the Algeria war, which led to decolonization of Algeria. So probably the French Navy or Air Force. Yes, DCAN is for Direction de Construction Aéronavale, so headquarters of Navy Air Force construction. So they had a base, technical base in Oran, Algeria, and it was overhauled or repaired at this, or inventoried maybe simply in this base. So it is quite old school, as there is quite a long time Algeria is not French anymore. Okay, so next one of the same flavor. In fact, this one is the navigation channel selector. We have transmit and receive and off button here. We have volume control, and we have buttons to select a channel. So from 0 to 12.9 apparently, or 129, not sure. So this one is made by STTA, model number. So this is a US designation model number. So it is a copy of a US design probably. Made by LMT, it is for Le Matériel Téléphonique, the telephone equipment. That code of 1967 and serial number here for you. Big connector here with, it is a female connector this time, interesting. Very probably oversized connector. Again, quarter turn fasteners at the back, which and you can see the construction. We have the same thing, two Wi-Fi switches with a network of resistors. These ones are 111 ohm, 200 ohms, 250 ohms. We have a big potentiometer here for the volume control. Backlight, a very serious switch here, as you can see. And also very serious construction here. No more standoffs, but pretty big metal plate welded to the front plate, which seems on all this seem to be, let me check. Yes, it is steel. It is not aluminium on this one. Quite weird to use steel because it is extra weight you do not want probably. So the back plate is aluminium, but this side on the front are steel here. Interesting. And you can see very serious wiring here. Well, grounding both sides of the connector, but the wiring work on this one is a lot less pretty. Quite a mess, as you can see, as it did not bother at all attaching the wires together. And there is no sign they were attached previously, and for some reason the zip ties or whatever did fall out. There is the parts number stamped on the front plate here. And you can see the back of those fasteners. So sometimes it is just a piece of wire riveted to the plate, but here it is an extra piece with this wire, and the matching fastener looks like this. In fact, it is just like this, same design. Okay, quite amazing they did make it in steel here, and here is some switch rotating action for you. Okay, so it is all for this one. Now we will go to the last one. The last one, we are one of the 5. So I believe it is so made by Gables Engineering with a D sub connector here, model number G1858, serial number 69, made in Coral Gables, Florida, USA. On date code of November 1968 on this one. So here you can see we have a quite different setup because the cover is in fact a plate of aluminium screwed here, and the other part is a U-shaped box. So on the front we have a mode selector, off, standby, normal, control maybe, map and test, and it is written pull and turn for test. And yes, clearly enough, you have to pull to get in the test position, and the buttons are made of die-cast aluminium, it seems. We have stab and off, we have a gain auto control here and antenna tilt controller here, up and down, so maybe it is for tilting radar antenna. And always with the Gables control panel you will find the model number on the front and the serial number here. It is a little bit erased by pen, but it is here. So it seems we have no backlight in this one, not sure. So I will quickly remove the 4 screws. And we will see what we have inside this one. Here we are. So we have not much, in fact, quite an empty box. Here we just have a wafer switch, as you can see. The body of the button here, the potentiometer here, with it seems there is a switch built in with at the back of the potentiometer also, like you have on all the radios and such. Yes, we have a backlight. These are contacts for backlight of this display, this front plate. And we have the main sensor for the antenna tilt is an auto SIN transmitter with this very interesting plug here. So it looks like it was designed to be possible to replace this quite easily, because there is this connector you have to turn here and it may unplug, yes, like so. Quite a weird design of connector made by Continental with golden pins. And we have an auto SIN synchro transmitter, probably. I see one grounding wire here, 2 wires going for a stator probably, and yes, 3 wires going for a rotor in the middle. And quite a serious aluminium construction here for aluminium pieces and plate riveted on it. Nice wiring work also. Okay, so it will be all for those teardowns. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.